This is an unbuilt Chaos Reaver Titan, and these are the instructions.
We've spotted some kind of monster. Holy, you look at the size of them. Flee, they're too much for us.
A while back, our community raised a truly humbling sum in our Level Up campaign to upgrade our studio. As a result, we committed to bringing this beast to life. I couldn't dream of anybody else taking on this challenge. In fact, I wanted to make it harder, to embrace the chaos. So I burnt the instructions, set myself an 8-hour time limit, very thematic, and invited the team to make this build even harder on me. We possibly went a little bit overboard. So how did we get here? What took us to here? Let's go back to the beginning. I first heard about this project when I was summoned by you during our epic live stream as our final surprise stretch goal. This was a special project and would need my full attention. I am still kind of flummoxed and humbled by the outpouring of support for Play on Tabletop's wild dreams. I feel so honored to be part of this amazing team. The Eye of Terror opened in Las Vegas, Nevada, one of the biggest Warhammer tournaments in the world, the Las Vegas Open. This was one of the first big events I had attended since our channel got big, and I was a little terrified of attending such a big event, as I am a little bit socially anxious. But meeting supporters and fans and all sorts of hobby alumni was actually really fun and reinforced my connection to the amazing people in our community. It really filled my cup. You all really rock. We had been on the lookout to purchase a Chaos Reaver Titan to fulfill our promise, but GW's store had been out of stock for a while and we couldn't really find one. But behold, the Games Workshop booth had a Chaos Reaver Titan in stock. I would like to buy this Chaos Reaver Titan. So we flew home and hurriedly unboxed it. To make this model unique and level it up, we contacted one of our sponsors, Deadly Print Studios, and asked them if they would make some custom effects for it. And they delivered. They modeled from scratch smoke and missiles and firing effects for this giant laser destroyer Gatling cannon, giving it amazing files that we were able to print at home and fit on the model with ease. They painted up beautifully. And frankly, it looks awesome. Deadly Print Studios sponsored this video and made this build possible. They have a massive selection of custom effects for almost every model in 40K, Star Wars, Legion, Battletech, you name it. You can get the files to print at home or physical effects they will ship to your door. In fact, they are running a promo. If you use the code in the description below, you can get 15% off your own effects. So please, go check them out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. This was going to be one of my first solo projects, so it was up to me to decide how we did it. I wanted something unique, something exciting, something that honored all of the generous fans that got us here. I wanted something to really bring out the chaos. I came up with one idea to make the build more interesting by setting challenges to overcome, like burning the instructions. I will suffer from your enjoyment and the glory of the Chaos Gods. I looked at all the resin in front of me and dived right in. I set myself an 8-hour time frame to complete the sub-assembly. First things first, we gotta get all this prepped, cleaned, and ready to go. So, bucket of soapy water. I'm a veteran of many builds, though I had never built a model of this scale before, a true Titan. Undaunted, I dove right in, scrubbing and rinsing and clipping and cutting. Each piece had gates, flash, and lumpy joins. Trim is everywhere and delicate. Each bit needs to be cleaned, inspected, and I guess has to be taken as to what bit of the Titan it's gonna end up getting glued to. I was loving it. Somehow, this kind of work is meditative and cathartic. It was really actually a lot of fun. But I was beginning to realize at just how long this might take me to do. By the time I was ready to glue the first 2 pieces together, I was well over 4 hours in. I was tired, but I felt like I could get it done. A few more hours would be more than enough time to get the pre-assembly done, right? Dry fitting is showing me that my guesses as to what bits go where were not all that accurate. Not having plans, I was left looking at our Imperial Reaver Titan for guidance. That didn't help as much as I thought it might. Undaunted, I started gluing the massive power claw together. With resin, few things fit perfectly, but I was making excellent progress. But not quick enough. At hour 7, Fatigue had set in. My fingers were covered in dry glue, the legs were giving me so much trouble, and the pistons just didn't want to fit. I seemed to have a whole lot of parts left over with nowhere to glue. I was worried that my rickety, sloppy, and incomplete legs would not hold up the heavy body. By the time the timer went off, I was the only one left in the studio. Everyone had gone home, and I had failed. Defeated, I turned off the cameras and went home. Fatigue had eroded my enthusiasm. The dual stresses of trying to make an amazing YouTube video while at the same time completing an amazing build and not letting the team and community down. We are not a hobby channel, so projects like this are still new for us. I was not going to give up. I persevered, got some help from Brent, thank you Brent, and I powered through the last of the assembly. With help, the rest of the sub-assembly was knocked out by the end of the day, and I gathered the parts to be primed. It was finally time to paint. First step was a gunmetal undercoat for most of the model. My goal for the paint scheme was to have a quartered look, a limb for every Chaos god. This had been chosen by our loyal fans. Corn red for the arm claw, Zinch pink and blue for the gun arm, purple for the Slaneshi leg, and putrid green for the Nurgle one. Colors picked, I dove back into the paint booth. Here at last, I could see some good results. Airbrush in hand, I was gonna catch up in no time. We were back on track. But I had forgotten about the trim. Chaos models have trim everywhere, covering every armor panel. And all of that trim need to be painted by hand with a brush. Airbrushing took a few hours. Trim over 8 hours for a single coat. That was with help. Thank you again, Brent. Again, my time estimates had been ambitious and wrong. The trim down, lighting effects, teeth, heat stains went smoothly. And I was pleased with the vibrancy I was able to achieve. This final push was done in a very satisfying 2-hour paint session. As the last stroke of paint on the trim dried, I was ready for the final assembly. Crazy glue and accelerator. Crazily, in about 5 minutes, it was done. I, Tycho, the Child of Chaos, had completed a Titan. The paint scheme, the effects, the time came together with fantastic results. I feel proud to have this opportunity to build this project. I learned so much about this process, and I can't wait to get on the battlefield and show off this massive Chaos Reaver Titan. Thank you to our sponsor, Deadly Print Studios, who really made this project extra special and made it possible at all. Check out their amazing selection of effects for your army. An additional thank you to you, our fans. Without you, we wouldn't have done it. We couldn't have done it. We wouldn't have had the opportunity to do this project. It was an honor and a privilege to learn with you. And until next time, keep hobbying, play on.